Hello, ladies. It's True Serum Tuesday. Hey, so nice to have you on here. I know there's going to be people logging on because this is an awesome topic. Tonight we're going to talk about the work-life balance myth. And so before I get into that, though, I had a question on the last True Serum Tuesday comments. And I believe it was from Monica. And she was asking, what do we do if we can't move through it? So the previous one we talked about, I got to look at my notes here. A lesson in forgiveness, laughter, demons, humility, and self-love. And so I had shared with you one of my experiences. And so she was asking, what if you're not able to move through that process? And so I was really thinking about this question over this past week, and I was thinking, what would I tell someone and how would that person be feeling? Like maybe that person would be feeling like they don't know how to move through the process. Or maybe that person is feeling like they're not supported enough to move through the process. Or maybe they just don't think they're deserving enough to work through that process. Hey, hi Margaret, nice to have you. And so what I was thinking about is, okay, so if someone is not able to move through that process, one of the questions I would ask is, what do they think is preventing them from moving through that process? Because sometimes it can be fear of not knowing like what's going to happen once you work through the process because it's not familiar to you. Another thing could be that it's just difficult to recognize those things in ourselves sometimes. And sometimes we can feel worse after we've had things kind of brought to our awareness or pointed out to us, which I've been in that boat too. So if you're not able to work through that whole entire process, hey Stephanie, if you're not able to work through that whole entire process, and if you didn't watch the video, it's going to be coming out on the blog or the vlog that you'll receive an email. If you're not connected with that, with the blog, just go to my website at www.rachelfreemansowers.com and you can sign up for the mailing list or for the blog on there. Essentially, the mailing list is the blog, and then you'll receive some of those videos, or you can always go back and watch it on in This Authentic Feminine Life. Hey, Leslie, nice to have you. So when you're working through this process, the number one thing I would encourage you to do is to be gentle with yourself. This self-examination, this self-awareness that I encourage other people to be doing to live the life they want to be living, it is not necessarily easy, and it's not always pleasant. There are successes, and there are times when you're like, oh, I finally crossed over into this next phase of my life. I've finally been able to feel like I can have contentment no matter what's happening. And so, number one, if you're not able to work through that whole entire process, be gentle with yourself. If you're not used to doing it, don't expect yourself to just move through the process. It's a muscle that needs to be worked, that needs to be flexed, so that you can then develop the things and live the life that you want to be living. So number one, be gentle with yourself. Number two is asking yourself the question, what is really stopping me? Or maybe it's what am I really afraid of? Or what I don't really want to know. Because maybe we don't want to know things about ourselves because we feel like it's maybe one more thing. And number two, I just want to encourage you to reach out to people for support. Find those people in your life that are so supportive of you no matter what you're doing. Come on to This Authentic Feminine Life Facebook group. Tell people you need support. The women on here are here to encourage you. So that answers Monica's question about not being able to move through the process. And if any one of you, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it recorded later on, I want to encourage you, if you have any questions, please, please, please post them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them and answer your questions in the following True Serum Tuesday, or if I hop on live just randomly, I'll answer the questions then. So please make sure to ask those questions if you have them. Okay, so are you ready? It's time. The quote that we used last week was being fierce yet flexible, or fierce and flexible. And that has a lot to do with this week's topic. So I went to, as many of you know, I went to a business conference last Thursday, last week, and the woman that was speaking was talking about work-life balance. And work-life balance has been something that's in my vocabulary for a really long time. In fact, I have the Chinese sign for balance tattooed on my leg because I have felt in my entire life, and please let me know in the comments below, yes, or thumbs up or hearts on whichever one. Let me know if you have ever felt like you're going or having nothing in your life except extremes. So the easiest ones are like happy, sad, mad, or joyful. You know, you're always operating on opposites. So you're having these dichotomies all the time, right? We're talking about our light side and our dark side and how we like both of those. So our world is kind of built on dichotomy. So how many of you have felt that you've heard this work-life balance phrase and you're like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm getting work-life balance, and you've strived and you've gone through everything, trying to get work-life balance because that's going to be the answer. If you've had that thought or that feeling, please put yes in the comments. Even if you're not watching this live, put yes in the comments, because the most important part of this group is that we all recognize that we're not the only ones out there. Margaret says balls out 24/7. Yes. And then we're like, okay, well, I haven't reached it yet. What else do I need to do? What else do I need to do? And I'm wondering, what the heck is work-life balance anyway? Because in my profession, my life is incorporated with my work. And my work is incorporated with my life. And I like it like that. The things I'm talking to you about are the things I live in my life. So how many of you, oh, Stephanie says yes, yes, yes. So how many of you live solely alone? You have no other demands on your time, just you. Put yes if that's you in the comments. Okay. How many of you have other things? So family, husband, wife, whatever, partner, children, jobs. How many of you work? How many of you take care of your kids at home? That's a lot of stuff. How many of you go to school? How many of you volunteer? How many of you, we have these things in our lives, no matter if we're single, if we're married, if we have no family, or we're living on our own and we have family, like we still all have things that demand our time. Mark's like, all of that and some more. Yeah. So how many other people on here have had that? If you're on here, make sure to say hi to you, because I want to say hi to you. We're talking about the work-life balance myth. And so being a therapist for the last 10 years of my life, and even all the training I've had before of that, and now being an integrative life empowerment coach, I'm all about really finding out where the work-life balance comes from. Because if I'm constantly looking on what I can do, how many of you have tried to use tools to help with work-life balance? So maybe you've tried to use a planner. Or maybe you've tried to use like an app on your phone of what you need to do. How many of you, hey Veronica, how many of you have maybe read books on how to have work-life balance? And how many of you have been able to implement the things in those resources? Or maybe you've watched movies, maybe you've watched courses online. How many of you have used those resources and obtained? How many of you have obtained work-life balance? If it's a yes, fantastic. Please put it in the comments below. If it's a no, please put that in the comments below. Because I have been searching and searching and searching. And the fact of the matter is that I haven't gotten there yet. It's almost like I'm expecting the heavens to just be open up, and it's oh, I've achieved work-life balance. Everything in my life is great. It's fantastic. Right? I haven't gotten there yet. And if you're there, let's get together, because we could probably make a ton of money. So, if you have achieved this work-life balance, this elusive work-life balance, and what does that mean anyway, then I would love to hear some of the things that you've done. Now, here's my thing about work-life balance. And I'm wondering how many of you feel the same way. Work-life balance is very individual to each person. My work-life balance concept will not be the same as Margaret's, will not be the same as Veronica's, will not be the same as Veronica's, and won't be the same as Stephanie's or Leslie's. We each get to define that individually. The second thing is, I don't think it comes externally. So, how many of you are getting what I'm putting down here? I don't think work-life balance, if I can even say it now, I don't think work-life balance comes from external factors. So, how many of you have been able to take a tool, implement it in your life, and sustain it for long periods of time? It's something that you've incorporated. It's something that you've integrated. And how many of you, say in the comments below, have felt like you failed because you don't have work-life balance? How many of you may feel like you're not a good enough mom because you feel like you're spending too much time away from your children? Because you feel like you never get time with your husband or your partner to really relish in your relationship and have that grow? How many of you have felt like maybe you've cheated yourself because you're constantly consumed with work? You're always worrying about what's next. You're always thinking about, you can't sleep at night. If you're doing those things, put the specific things that you're doing in the comments. If you feel any of those things, put those specific things in the comments and let me know. So Margaret that says, it took a health crisis to force the issue, so no. Yes, I find that having a routine makes it easier to maintain. Great tool, routine, right? Stephanie says, I'm getting better at leaving it at work. Good. Make a conscious effort to be present in the moment. Yes, because when you're with your child, when you're with your husband, when you're doing something, that's the only place you are. And when I take my mind off of that place, then I'm not there. But some of those things that you ladies are talking about, you knew. So take Margaret, for instance. She found out that a routine is helpful to her. A routine enables her to feel content in her own self first. Hey Trish, nice to have you joining us. We're talking about the work-life balance myth. And so when we're looking to these external factors to make these differences, I'm wondering if I knew and I went back within, if I knew at my core how I wanted to be interacting in the world, how I wanted to feel in this world, the things that I wanted to have an emphasis on. If I knew that stuff, then I could prioritize. And just like Margaret is saying about a routine, she prioritizes then what she's wanting to do. And when she prioritizes those things, excuse me, she is able to then say, this is how I want to be living. This is my authentic life. This group is called This Authentic Feminine Life. It's what's authentic to you, no matter what I say or think about it. So when Stephanie is being present, that makes her feel fulfilled. It makes her feel more calm. It makes her feel like she's spending quality time with her child. And then she gets what she wants in her life. There's nothing wrong with us getting what we want in our life. And I think sometimes we're taught that there is something. If I want something, it's selfish. But if what I want makes me a better mother, makes me a better woman, makes me a better partner, makes me a better, businesswoman, entrepreneur, and it makes me better for my clients, then why wouldn't I want that first? So I'm going to take a look at my notes. Okay, so the concept is we look externally for work-life balance, what we can do, instead of looking internally. So tell me a few things how maybe you have noticed internally that makes you feel like you have balance. Because when you're balancing something, it's like you're balancing two things like this. And when we're operating on extremes, like anger and happiness, there is something in between. It doesn't have to be one or the other. But we think it's only one or the other. So then maybe we don't recover as quickly. Maybe we stay angry longer. Maybe that damages some of our relationships. Instead of saying, okay, what do I want to do about this? How do I want to feel in this moment? So Veronica says, or Ronnie says, writing to-do lists for the next day and the end of every workday helps me so I don't have to think about it after work and stress about forgetting in the next morning. Yes. Yeah. So you feel like, okay, I can release this and let it go because I've done something for myself to enable me to feel more contentment. So when we think about this internal part of it, how do I want to be interacting in the world? Well, I know Veronica, and I know that she cares deeply about what she does. And when she is able to write it down, then she is able to be present in a different place. She is able to be with herself, so then she restores herself because her job is very demanding. She restores herself during that time, and then she can be able to go in and be that much better for her clients, that much better for the children that she serves, for the families that she serves. And to me, that's so important. So instead of looking externally for work-life balance, let's look internally and know yourself far better than you know anybody else. Because then you discover what your balance looks like, what your balance feels like. And when I know I'm out of whack, then I can look back and say, what isn't meshing? What isn't like joining up? Hey, Ashley, good to have you. You know, what is not making the connection between the way that I want to be feeling and what I am doing at this moment? The other thing, when I know myself, when I know the way I want to feel, and when I say the way I want to feel, like I want to interact authentically in this world. Like that's one of my main things. I want to act authentically, speak my truth with respect to myself and other people so that I can live this kind of life I want to live. Oh, Mom is there too. Hey, Shanna. So when I talk about feeling, it's not like, oh, I want to be happy today, even though that may be something you want to feel. So then you set priorities on the things that make you or that enable you to have that feeling. But you're in charge of that. When we're looking for work-life balance, we're looking sometimes to other people, to bosses, to whatever, to make our job better for us so that we feel better instead of taking the control back within us. So how many of you are getting like what I'm putting down? I'll say that one more time. Like, put yes in the comments if you're getting it, if it's making sense, if you're getting something out of it. I'm going to check my notes really quick because I got to look over here. So, how many of you on here want to be able to say no and not feel guilty? Hey, Karen, so good to have you. We've missed you. So Margaret says she's getting it. Veronica says yes. Ronnie says yes. So how many of you want to feel no unapologetically, or want to say no can I say the word? Unapologetically with no guilt? Karen says better late than never. Yes, I'm so glad you're here. Ronnie says me. Anyone else but Ronnie out there want to say no without feeling guilty? I have wanted to say no without feeling guilty. And it's an interesting thing. Stephanie says no. LOL. Okay, so I have said no to hey Val, I've said no to projects that would benefit the community, that would allow me to help more people, that would allow me to give more of my energy and more of my gifts away. I've said no. It hasn't made me that popular all the time. I'll tell you that. And that's just the honest truth. Hey, Teresa, nice to have you. And I needed to do it because that was authentic to me. There are lots of times I want to help people. There are lots of times. How many of you have wanted to help someone and then honestly have sacrificed consistently sacrificed your own self for someone else? And when I say consistently sacrifice, I'm talking about sacrificing when you really wanted to be with your children, but you said, well, maybe these other things are more important, or maybe this other person really needs me. And maybe there's times that are appropriate to do that. So I'm not saying don't do that. So please don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is that we are taught so much to give. And we need to be able to say no so that we can have something for ourselves. So then we give even more quality. It's like quality over quantity. So Teresa says, absolutely. Margaret says, learning to say no is a serious life lesson. Yes, serious life lesson. So when we talk about work-life balance and you find within yourselves, you look back internally for that balance. What is your balance? You know how you want to feel, you know what you want to be doing, and you know how you can do the things so that you can live your life feeling fulfilled and content, right? No matter what is happening. Then if things go up and down at work, you're still content because you're solid inside. The core is solid. And then you can say no unapologetically, because you know that the one time you say no right now, it's going to give you what you need to say yes later. Say yes to the priorities of your children, of your family, of your partner, of you. Most importantly, you. So, let's see here. I had a quote sent to me in a text today by Ronica, and I love getting these random quotes because they really spur some kind of inspiration. And I was thinking about tonight in the work-life balance myth and what it means. And sometimes we feel like we'll never get there. And the expectation is that it'll all be great because we'll all have work-life balance and everything will be dandy and I won't have to worry, and then life won't be so hard. So again, if anyone gets there, for externally, let me know. I've gotten there a lot internally because I know myself. How many of you want to have balance in your life? And you get the concept of getting it from the internal self, the divine wisdom within, the knowing. And some of you also may have help from God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's part of your divine knowing, that this thing out here, this thing that is bigger than myself, this thing that is loving me no matter what, is here for me, right? So that is a very important part of keeping your own balance within you. And the quote says, if you want to live a life, wait, hold on. Please hold. I have to look over here because my computer. So if you want to live a life you have never lived, you have to do things you've never done. Okay, so if you want to live a life you have never lived, you have to do things you have never done. So maybe you've said no a couple of times and it hasn't really felt that great. But it's another muscle to be flexed, right? So what are some things that you guys, oh, my battery's getting low. What are some things that you guys want to do more of in your life to create your own internal balance? Val said, how odd. I read that quote today. Val, that's not odd. This is what happens. That's why you're supposed to be here. It's totally awesome. I mean, that's the stuff that really excites me, right? Because I never know what I'm going to say really until the day before. Or maybe I'll have a hint and then I kind of construct it the day before and the day of. But that is totally connectedness, right? For some reason, we need to be reminded that if we want to live a life we've never lived before, we need to do things we haven't ever done. So what are some of the things that you want to do that you have rarely or never done? Hey, Karen, nice to have you. So, yes, look, Karen's back. Karen, I love you. I love you, Karen. If you want to live a life you've never lived, you have to do something you've never done. Is that it? Yes, yes, yes. Boom, boom, boom. I'm getting all excited. I'm getting all pumped up here. Hey, Valentina. Nice to have you. We've missed you. So, what are some of the things that your divine knowing inside of you is telling you to do that you haven't done yet? Because I am telling you, you have everything within you already, complete, whole, and perfect, just as you are. And that thing has just been covered up a little bit by trauma or by circumstances, by whatever it is. It's been covered, but it's there. So that little voice in your head that says, do it, do it, do it, do it. That's not just a voice in your head. If your heart is telling you, if your heart says it's ready for more, ask it what it's ready for more of. It will tell you. The one thing you need to do is to sit quiet. You have to take a moment to listen and trust yourself, because your divine knowing will tell you your authentic truth every single time. I'm not joking. Like, this stuff is real. It's real. How many of you on here have experienced exactly what I'm talking about? Once you stop, you listen for a moment to the wise woman within you. You get the answer. You integrate it into your life, and guess what? Smooth sailing. When I talk about having true contentment no matter what, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Valentina says to me, yes. And Margaret says, it's really real. It's really real, people. So, you can experience that when you listen. So this whole work-life balance myth of out here, of external, of what I'm doing, of how I'm doing it, of one more thing I need to pick up, of one more shiny object that's going to distract me from listening to my own divine knowing. You don't have to work for work-life balance. You have to listen for work-life balance. Listen. Listen to a higher power, God, the universe, your own divine knowing. Because it's my belief. You know, I've been a preacher's daughter before. I don't know if many of you know that, but I have been. And the one thing I know is that in those times when God or the universe, and at that point in time, you know, when I used that source, when I had that faith and he was within me, that is my divine knowing. That is the wise woman within me, right? And so I want to encourage every single one of you to take a moment. If you're searching for this work-life balance that's elusive, that never comes because you're constantly doing something, waiting, yes, it's like waiting for the right time to have a baby, buy a house, and change jobs. That's a lot. Yes, I'm waiting to arrive. And freaking A, you're going to wait to arrive your whole entire life because you're already there. You are where you are right now because that is where you're supposed to be. Struggling, maybe. Yes. With abundance. Yes. With blessing. Yes. With support. Yes. You know, we think we have to be doing so much because that makes us feel better, right? That's the external. That's the work-life balance. If I do this, I'll feel more balanced. If you look within, you will know and feel more balanced. You will know how to listen. So bring it all back to the internal, because the only time is right now. Yes, I have goals for my future, absolutely. But I don't obsess about those. I do what I do now, because if I do what I do now, then it moves me, it propels me forward. And if I don't do it now, then when am I going to do it? Sometimes we make decisions and we weigh the risk, right? And that's normal. How many of you have made decisions and you've taken a risk and it's turned out? Yes, in the comments below. How many of you have made decisions and you weren't quite sure how it was going to turn out and it turned out? However it turned out, it was fine. One foot in front of the other, like high school cross country in PE class. Margaret, it's so funny. I love that. Whoa, sorry. I didn't mean to shake y'all up. Anyway, so trust the divine knowing within. Go from within. Take that time. Sit and listen. and you will achieve your own balance. Your own balance won't be like somebody else's. And thank goodness for that. Because my balance is my balance and your balance is your balance. So before we go and before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you all for being here. The other thing I want to say is that I want to know one thing that you're going to do, that your inner divine wisdom within is telling you to do, that you haven't done yet. So if you're ready to take the risk and put it in the comments below, I'd love to see it. So Valentina says, I stopped overthinking it and have been just trusting my ideas and going for it. Yes, yes, divine knowing, right? Oh, I've had a privilege of knowing Valentina. And I'm telling you, her stuff, kick ass. She's rocking it. She's going. She's trusting herself. There's no better way to be living. Right? So, what is one thing you guys want to do? Tell me in the comments below. I got to search. Man, it's getting hot in here. Find a conference table and get my shit together. Okay. Okay, everyone. We're going to encourage Margaret. Find a conference table and get her shit together. She's going to teach some classes at her business. So, and Margaret, I'm just saying, just go get one of those plastic tables from Costco. They're like $59.99. It doesn't have to be fancy. That's what I've used. Just do it. Just get it. And offer it. Just get going. That's the first step. Do it. Valentina says, right. Valentina, I want to expand my network outside of people I know. Yes, girl, I can help you with that. You know that. I can help you with that. You need to come see me soon. So, expanding the network outside people I know. That's putting yourself out there, right? That's just saying, hey, here you go, universe. Here I am. Here are my gifts. Whoever's ready to participate, come, right? Margaret says she's doing it. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm just going to look over here really quick. All right. One thing I'm so excited about, if you haven't signed up for the mailing list or the blog, please go and sign up at www.rachelfreemansowers.com. I'll put the link in the comments because there's going to be some cool stuff coming out. So many of you know I've started a mastermind group. This is a group of women. We're meeting once a month. It's been going fantastic. So there'll be more things about that. There are going to be some other really cool programs that I've been putting together and that I'm going to offer. So you'll want to be on that mailing list. If you have any friends that you'd like to invite to this group, please, please invite them. We're up to like 179 members. And I'm telling you, 4 months ago when I started this group with like 20, I never could have imagined that we could be producing this level of female vibration that's going to react in a positive way in this world. And that is what it's all about. So please keep sharing. Please make sure to sign up for the mailing list or share my website. Hey, Shalina, share my website with other people that you know. If you get an email from the blog and you feel like you want to forward it, sometimes we never know who's going to be out there and who will benefit from just hearing one thing and being inspired and encouraged. So I want to ask you all, this is what I'm doing. This is my thing. I'm going to ask you all to share the emails with your friends, share this group with your friends, and so we can get more and more people, because my goal for this group is 500 women. And I know that there's women on here who aren't a part of my blog, and I'd love to have you be there. So please go sign up. Look for the new programs that are going to be coming up, because they are going to be kick-ass. If you really want to know what your desires are, if you really want to know what direction that you're going in, if you really want to find your authentic life and be living it every single day, the programs that are coming up are exactly for you. So if you've ever struggled, you're confused, whether you've been in a career for years and years and years and you want to leave that, if you've been in a career that you want to retire, if you want to switch which careers you're in, if you're an entrepreneur, a female entrepreneur that really is like, okay, how do I get out there? How do I then take this next step? How do I feel confident and trust in getting those things within myself? I can help you do that. So you'll want to be on the mailing list so that you can go ahead and get those offers. If you don't, if you find an email that you're like, oh, that's not really for me, it's totally cool. but I want to put as much out there as I can because I'm all about making a positive impact in this world. And I know that every woman that's commenting and that's on this live feed, and even women that watch, are wanting to make a positive impact in this world. Is that yes, yes, yes? Thumbs up and hearts. Show me thumbs up and hearts if you're wanting to make a positive impact. Small, big, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's what the women in this group want to do. So be on the lookout for that. Oh, yes. Thumbs up hearts. Thumbs up hearts. Yes, yes, yes. If I could do it, I would do it too. I'd be like, so I want to encourage you all to spread your gifts. Know and look within, because that is where your guidance will come from. It doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be so hard. You already know it is within you. You are powerful. You are strong. Right? I feel like I'm saying that one in that movie. That one line in that movie. But I'm telling you, you are doing enough already. Look within so you don't add more. It's not about adding more. It's about looking more, listening more. I love all of you. I'm so grateful for all of your support. I'm so grateful for all of you sharing. Oh, you is nice. Thanks, Margaret. Thank you for sharing this message that I want to get out there over and over again. I couldn't do without you. And now we're almost, I want to go that by the end of this month, I want to see if we can have 200 women in this group. So we're like at 179, 200. Let's get to 200 and make sure you sign up for the mailing list or the blog so that you start getting these emails about the upcoming stuff. So thank you so much. Thanks for joining. I look forward to seeing you next week, True Serum Tuesday. I don't know what it's about. If you have any suggestions, comment below, and I'd love to fulfill your suggestions. Okay, I will see you all later. Take care. Love you. Bye. Mwah.